Hi, everybody. Today, let's ponder whether there have been any benefits at all in having to face this global pandemic. I know a lot of people have been scratching their heads and asking questions like, what is the silver lining in all of this? Is there a silver lining as our lives have been shaken at its core, as we have become confined to our homes, as all in-person interactions have come to a halt, as businesses and jobs have been threatened as schools have shut down. But let me ask you all, how were you feeling before coronavirus entered the picture? Were you happy? Were you feeling calm and content? Were you ever restless? How about anxious? Were you ever depressed? Were there ever any changes you wanted to make about yourself or about life before all of this started? Now, you see, in many ways, life can be seen as a test, right? We're tested with how we manage ourselves, our emotions, how we manage our behaviors, our relationships with other people, how we make decisions and plans and then change it all up, how we pursue one thing and then another, right? And every day we are being tested. Now, today is a new normal that we're all adjusting to, and we're all being tested now on both a micro and a macro level. On a micro level, your perception of your role in your life has been perhaps jolted, right? Who am I if I'm not driving through LA traffic, rushing to get the kids to school, spending 8 to 10 hours a day in the office, running errands, picking up the kids, then running some more errands, attending a social event, perhaps planning for more social gatherings, and then doing more planning for the future, right? And so on and so forth. We have become a society of event planners. We are planning all the time for the next play date, the next social gathering, this event or that event. And we are mapping out our plans way in advance, weeks and months in advance. And now all of a sudden we're being forced to stop planning and to start being. We are forced to start being with ourselves and figuring out how to be with our families in our homes. Maybe before coronavirus, you were always rushing to get somewhere. And in that case, that meant that you were always rushing maybe your spouse or your children. Maybe there was never enough time to hear their stories or to hear their frustrations or annoyances. But have you noticed with all of this that now you have more time to listen? Or maybe you have more time to perhaps gaze out your bedroom window. Or maybe you're noticing that there's more time now to just stand outside of your house and look around. Or maybe there's more time now to play a game of basketball with your kids. Or when was the last time you sat at the kitchen table with your family for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? See, it's difficult to hear one's voice, one's thoughts in a constant flood of opinions and noises that comes from living in a fast-paced, busy life. But what if now you could gain some clarity, gain perspective? The things that maybe you wanted to pursue for years, what if you could now? What if you had the time to stop and pause and make eye contact with your partner and ask each other, how are you doing? Do you need any help with anything? Rather than being two ships passing by, right? And really being able to connect on a deeper level. What if you decided to call up friends that have a positive effect on your mental health and have more deeper, meaningful conversations? What if you stopped and paused more? What might you find out? If you are a naturally restless or anxious person and it's hard for you to sit still, I'm wondering if in some ways this is a test for you to figure out how to find more stillness in your life, how to find or create a space in your home where you can feel more calm, more at ease, more at peace. Or what if you're a homebody? What if you're someone that loves to spend or has spent a lot of time on your own? Maybe this for you too is a test to stop and pause. Maybe it means that you need to reach out to other people, to check in with others, to see how others are doing, and form deeper connections that way. And if you are a child or an adolescent, perhaps your test is to figure out how to find more empathy for your siblings and to find ways to have a conversation and talk through a situation rather than reacting to it. It's also probably a test in figuring out how to be and deal with parents. And what if you're a grandparent or someone that is used to being in the role of having to give so much of your time and energy to your kids, to your grandkids? Maybe this too is a test to stop and pause and to really consider and ask yourself, how do I need to take care of myself right now instead of everybody else? You see, now, as much as we're being called to duty and being tested on our presence and our patience and redefining our own roles, we too now are being tested on a macro level on our humanity. How are we more patient with each other as members of society? How does each and every one of us help each other, to encourage each other, to show support, to praise more, to show more gratitude towards one another? How do we find ways to lift people's spirits instead of find ways to put people down? What can we all learn about ourselves? How are you being tested right now?